Yeah.
Today was the first day that the red zone was a huge focus. So all of our team periods and our 7-on-7 were all in the red zone. And so, it's just one of those things of trying to teach the adjustments that go into what's going down in the red zone. Obviously, the field position starts to favor the defense because we got less field we got to defend. And so you got to play things differently there than you do out at the 50-yard line.
Do you feel like you held your own?
Yeah, I mean, we did. We'll obviously look at the tape and see how we did. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of coaching points, and we get a chance to come back tomorrow and hit red zone again, which is always nice. You get it one day, get to coach off of it, and then come back and repeat it the next day.
A couple guys on offense, as they mentioned, that facing your defensive backs, they're really physical and lots of hands-on, and they like that because it gets them ready. Are you guys even more aggressive back there than you've been?
We certainly want to be as aggressive as we can. We'll get some officials out here on Saturday and stuff like that and see if we're being too aggressive. But I'd rather say roll than giddy up as far as the aggressiveness goes and try to pull the guys back. And so, I just think as our guy, we got more guys who've played for us. They got more confidence. They're, they're in the third, fourth year. And, feeling good and competing out there.
Just kind of going off that a little bit more, what does it say about kind of the DBs when they can, make a physical play against a guy like Micaiah Tongue, who's big body out there?
Right, yeah. Well, and that's kind of how it is in our league. I mean, you got the whole mix a little bit like on our own team. You got guys like, Champ Fleming you got to deal with and all the shake and the bake and silence that they bring. And then you got the bigger, more physical receivers. And then, our offense did a nice, even like flexing out Luke Musgrave. And all of a sudden you got a corner who's got to match up on a big physical tight end. And so seeing all that in practice really helps us get ready for the games that we're going to see in the league.
We're 6 days into practice. Anybody on the defensive line outside of the obvious guys that caught your eye in the first week?
I think the guys that, Tavis Shippen has done a nice job. James Rawls has shown some growth. It's been good to get Thomas Seal out there for 6 practices, and he's still learning. He's a little bit trying to get his feet underneath him there, changing the positions and changing the side of the ball. And so obviously, losing, Hodge, it was a disappointment. And then Keontae has been out for a couple of days too, and hoping to get him back soon.
Did Josiah go to the back to offense?
Josiah.
Just Irish. Josiah. Is he
Josiah? Yeah.
Did I say it wrong? Josiah Irish. I thought I said it right. Is he back on offense now?
Yes.
Okay.
How have you liked what you've seen from the defensive line just in a couple practices without Hodge?
Yeah, we're definitely deeper than we've been, and so losing one guy hopefully won't affect us in the same way it has in years past. And we just got to have that next man up mentality. So when a guy goes down, whether it's for one game or half a season or an entire season, the next guy's got to get ready to go. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to build depth and get multiple guys ready to go because that's what it takes to be competitive in this league.
How big is the experience factor when it comes to that kind of stuff? Having multiple guys who have been here before for years.
Yeah, it's big. You know what I mean? Because they've been here. They've heard the coaching points before. They've been able to learn and grow and adapt, and that certainly helps us develop the depth.
Speaking of depth, how are you feeling about the depth that you have there in the defensive backfield now?
Yeah, well, I think it's the best in the defensive backfield. Our depth is better than it's been in the 4 years that we've been here, and so we got to keep developing it. We've got some guys that we were able to add in, like Ian Massey, who's done a nice job. And for 6 practices, I'm extremely impressed with how far he's come and how quickly he's learned the defense. And we're trying to make it so it's competitive at each position. So guys, they know they can't, just show up in practice and go through the motions. So they got somebody breathing down their neck. If they don't go out and produce in practice, then somebody's going to take their spot.
With Hodgins out, who have you kind of seen step into that leader role? Who would you like to see kind of?
Well, there's no one person that's just stepped into that spot that Hodge leaves. Hodge is a great leader for us, one of the hardest working guys on our football team. And but it's kind of been a group effort for those guys and some of the guys I mentioned earlier, Tibesar Shippen, James Rawls, getting some more reps than they would have gotten maybe.
When it comes to, obviously it's important to stress, guys are doing the things off the field to stay safe, stay healthy, to be on the field. With the Pac-12 forfeiture policy now, you guys could potentially lose games if you guys can't field the team. How big is that, and is it stress even more of an importance on that?
Yeah, I think our medical staff and Coach Smith, we've done as good of a job trying to educate these guys and how to try to stay safe. with the things they can control and the things that they can't control, and just trying to get them to do the right things so they can stay healthy, and hopefully that keeps our football team healthy. We were fortunate; we were one of the few teams that got through the entire season last year and played every single game and every single week. So hopefully we can do that again this year.
6 practices in, you've watched a lot of the video. Do you feel like you're seeing improvement in terms of the takeaway area, and how so where are you seeing that?
Yeah, we've gotten more interceptions at this point in camp, I think, than we have in previous years. And so, I think we got to keep trying to always put pressure on the football and being able to take it away. That's going to continue to be, something, a focal point for us the entire season. And it's got to be, something that's stressed daily, both from an individual position technique work to, we keep track of it every single day, and every single night at the night meeting we come in and the first thing we start off is showing them the takeaway from the days. So we're going to continue to keep a heavy emphasis on that, and hopefully it shows up on game day.
Chainsaw and all?
No chainsaw in the meeting yet, but they know well about it. So.
First day of full pads today. What do you think about the physicality and intensity on your side of the ball?
It was good, and I'm sure the offense, was good on both sides. There's a big difference between tagging off on a guy's hip and then actually having to tackle him to the ground. And sometimes guys get a false sense. Well, I was right there to make the play. Well, that's easy when everybody's got to stay up. When you actually got to physically go put the guy on the ground, So that was good for us to get that today before we actually have some real, a longer scrimmage on Saturday and got to do some live work.
With Rajon Wright, what have you seen of his progress from last year to this year?
Just a huge growth in attention to detail and, being exact in his technique and the more disciplined player than he was a year ago at this time.
Seems like he's ready to have a bigger role.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's done a nice job. I think a year ago, obviously, he was going to come into the second half of spring ball. That got canceled, didn't get it. Summer was hit and miss last year, and then we were playing, we're not playing, all those things, and also we're playing. And he really hadn't had any reps with us before fall camp. Now he's had a whole year of practice underneath him, had a full spring ball this year. He's significantly ahead of where he was a year ago.